aluminum foam was discovered by accident. Alkaline International was working to create an alloy to compete with steel for automotive breakers, for the rotor breakers. So in order to utilize aluminum for this application, they have to do something different. So what they've done, they mixed the aluminum with the silicon carbide particles, which is very, very difficult to do. Imagine you have a milk and you put the chocolate to it. If the chocolate will not dissolve, you can't mix it because it's chunks and things. Imagine if you can do the same thing for aluminum. Very, very difficult. But over the years, they actually overcame this process and they mixed the silicon carbide into the aluminum. And they were competing they tried to compete with steel for that. Well, during this, one of the experiments at the lab, they left this aluminum compound in the oven, and it foamed. So they say, "Whoa, what is this?" And they realized that actually, if you do the proper conditions, you can actually create a foam aluminum. It's like an aero bar. And so they patented this, but at the same time, they were talking like scientists. They were talking to all the different scientists, and they talked to Norsk Hydro from Norway. And these guys were smart too, so they start working on it. So suddenly, the management has to step in and say, so no more discussions between those two companies. So suddenly they have two different patents: the patent in the United States, in Canada, and a patent in Norway. So when we bought the license from Canadian Alcan, we had to have a license A and license B. License A was only Canadian, and license B was merged between the two because they were working together on the same product for a long time. So when we bought this, nothing worked. Not the parameters of nothing worked. The speed were not working. Actually, it's even worse because they didn't give us believe it or not, during this license, they didn't give us the temperature profile, how to melt this stuff, okay? Because it was a very, very narrow window that we have to keep the temperature for a very short time, because if we miss that window, we'll never foam. So we didn't know that. So we were struggling with this, but we actually, there was another company called Duralcan. So we got exactly from Duralcan. And he told us about those temperature differences. So after that it was easy because we knew what to do. And because I designed the production line, and because the temperature problem was there, we couldn't produce anything. But after we resolved the temperature problem, that was easy. We actually started producing panels, and we were just perfecting the production process. But that was very important because we were perfecting production process, and the Norwegians, they're working in the lab and they were perfecting the process, the property of the foam. So every time we go to the conferences, they have something to say. We had nothing to say because we were just looking at production. You know, we're producing really shitty foam. But I said, you know what? If we produce consistent shit, we have control of the process. And instead of remelting this stuff, Paul was actually selling this as architectural panels because they're really cool on the wall. So we were producing those things, and he was selling them for architectural, and that's why we were producing and learning about the process.
Yeah.